Okay, so hello everyone, welcome back to this week's Socratic dialogue. All right, before we start our SD session, can both the team introduce themselves?
Hi everyone, I'm Darshana Adam. I work as a UI UX designer at Deep Thought, and today I'm coach for Team Storypreneurs.
Hi everyone, I'm Silveshwar and I'm also a UI UX designer and I work with Deep Thought. Today I'm a part of Team Storypreneurs.
Hi everyone, I'm Vajra working as data champion in Deep Thought and today I represent Team Storypreneurs.
Hello everyone, my name is Yashasvi and I'm the business growth analyst from UBL.
Hello everyone, I'm Janvi Shukla and work as a data champion in DT and I will be the coach for Town.
Hello guys, I'm Nandita and I'm from Team Neuronats. Knots.
Hello everyone, I'm Afreen and I work here at DT as a data champion and I am today as representing Neuronauts.
Hello everyone, I'm Swastika. I work in DT as a organization developmental psychologist and today I'm in Team Neuronauts.
Hello guys, I am Harshita and today I am going to be moderating this session.
Hello everyone, I'm Anushri Soni. I work as the data champion in DT and I am the co-moderator for today's SD.
Okay, so now I would like to ask which team would like to go first?
We would like to go first.
So before you guys go first, I would like to know the reason behind for the name of your team that you guys have chosen, as well as please give us a brief introduction about the whole presentation.
We named ourselves the Storypreneurs because we are encouraging the learners not about learning but about the founders because they are becoming them and one story at a time we are teaching them. And two-liner pitch for our SD is Storypreneurs are transforming classrooms into entrepreneurial labs where real stories, strategy, and reflection shape the leaders for tomorrow.
Okay, so now you can start with your presentation, keeping in the mind that the time limit is 3 minutes.
Okay, so every business has a story, not just of success, but of struggle, risk, and resilience. We can move forward. Yeah, take Steve Jobs, for example. He didn't just build products, he built belief. His journey shows how vision, failure, and relentless iterations shape great companies. By unpacking such stories, we help students see that entrepreneurship is a mindset, not a miracle. Moving forward. Business today is driven by strategy, culture, and systems, not just instinct. That's why education matters. Through interactive storytelling, students explore real journeys, they analyze decisions, debate failures, and learn what creates lasting value. When we blend generational insight with modern learning, we unlock potential in future leaders. Moving on.
We are emphasizing the need to introduce entrepreneurship early, not as a lecture but as an experience. Instead of abstract business theory, students build something real, like designing prototypes with startup ideas or run mini pop-up. These activities foster creative problem solving, leadership, and team collaboration, which can go beyond the classroom. Moving forward. We are focusing on bridging the gaps between classroom learning and real business challenges for college students. Students should not only study business plans, they should build, fail, pivot, and grow through live experiments and guided projects. Partnering with startups, incubators, and mentors brings industry insights directly into the learning. Over to you, Yashashvi.
Business isn't about just learning facts, it's about solving real world problems. So we teach through stories where students step into roles like founders or marketeers and try to make their own decisions. We use simple tools like lean canvas method to help them plan ideas. It's hands-on, it's fun, and it also helps them think like real entrepreneurs. not like just students. Some some people think business is too hard for kids, but kids already sell things, create content, and run small projects. So we just help them understand what they're already doing. We don't need big textbooks, we just need simple stories and some real world examples. It's never too late to teach good decision making and creative thinking. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, team, for the presentation of your pitch. Now I would like to team Neuronets that you guys can go ahead and ask their questions.
So how are we blending generation wisdom with modern learnings, you know?
Yeah, I'd like to answer that. So see, by that what we mean is that when they'll, read about case studies or read about the study about different businesses which have been, past maybe a failure, or some businesses which have actually, built very big. So that is what we mean by generational knowledge, that they'll get idea of, okay, sometimes this is like they'll get idea of what experiments work, what do not work. So yeah. And with blending it with modern learning is that the new ideas, the new frameworks that we can teach them, the theoretical part of it that we can also teach them. So blending both of them together.
Does that answer your question, Nandita?
Well, I want to know like isn't that would be more overwhelming for all the kids? So like what plan or ideas you are trying to do so the kids or whoever are new to this thing, they like they are really learning from the case studies and all, because there will be new business vocabularies, right?
So I can
Okay,
answer
okay.
that. We are giving the students, we are telling them to become a detective quest seeker, where we give them a real life case studies, okay, and they can like find out, like be a detective and find out what were the key steps or points because of which this organization becomes successful, or what were the like bottlenecks because of which they failed. Okay, it can be playful for them to find out this points in the case study. So in such way we can teach other kids, right?
Does that answer to your question, Nandita? Any follow-up questions?
No.
Any other question, anyone?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, Afrin, you can.
Thank you so much. I was asking that what role does parents have in this learning procedure of students getting new to business, especially if they are already from a background where they are from have the generational wealth of the generational business, if they are following that only. So what's the role of parents in this new system?
I answer now. So parents would encourage the students to, they would encourage them with their own experience. They would nurture them with their own business ideas that they have been following from ages, and they would teach them, which also makes it to the point where we have we have said that history would also be a part of the entrepreneurship, where generational tactics of marketing and business would also come into play when gaining experience is the point. I mean, uh, the practices that people were doing from ages would also become a experience for the new and emerging entrepreneurs. So parents can nurture their students in yeah, for making them a better entrepreneur.
Does that answer to your question, Afreen?
Yeah, just one thing like, what if the businessman is a local businessman? The parent is basically a local businessman. Let's say a person who sells gulab jamun in a city, and they just only have marketing as word of mouth. And because their product is quality product, that's why it is very famous. And in today's world where word of mouth only doesn't work, it works, but we have to have other strategies as well. So like, how will parents contribute to that?
Then that's the point actually where it comes to our part where we are giving the students the real world experience and the real world trends. We will teach the students the real world trends so that they would have a better knowledge and a better exposure of how the real world market works, so that they would also know how a local business would work with a better quality, and how it would be a competitor when it comes to a global, I mean, or a bigger perspective. I mean, if the quality is served at a bigger level, at a bigger scale, then it would be a more successful business, like how Haldirams has emerged, right?
Does that answer to your product question, Afreen?
Yes, Harshada.
Okay. Further, any questions, guys?
Yes, I have a question. How do you prevent that these interactive methods that you're talking about don't become performative like other things in the syllabus and are still intact as a reflective learning experiences?
Can I answer that question? So we are not keeping this as a compulsory, but we are keeping it as an elective subject so that students who are interested can, participate and does not feel the pressure that we have to score well, we have to do well in this subject, but they are performing in that subject by willingly. So they don't feel the pressure, and we are not only, building the theoretical and the inbuilt classroom concepts, but we are also encouraging the practical knowledge in the industries, and also encouraging like building prototypes, like giving practical knowledge in hands-on.
But even if we have that as, like, for example, if I have physical education as a optional, right? Even then, it feels like a performative system to me or to like all of us to score well because it will add, even if it's optional.
But don't you think that business is like a major part in the economy, that it is as important as the foundational subjects we have been taught in the schools, like as well as math, science, biology? The business is also a like major part in the economy, which is like way more important to be learned.
So, how do we incorporate this importance if we are keeping it as optional?
We are keeping it optional only for the practicality of the ideas. The students who are like interested by learning the theoretical and the concepts, those students who are interested in learning the practical applications or exploring the industries or the other companies, they might elect it as an elective subject.
Does that answer to your question, Janvi? Any follow-up question? Okay, so thank you. Now, Team Neuronats can begin with their presentation while adhering to the 3-minute time limit. Before you guys start your presentation, I would like to know why you chose that name as Team Neuronats, and let us know the summary of your presentation.
Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. We are Team Neuronauts, and we have named this because we are like astronauts exploring the brain of a student. And we believe that every learner has a universal potential, and education should help them, explore that. And our presentation is all about, like, instead of just teaching what business is, we want to train students to think like business leaders. And our framework and the model which we are presenting focuses on the skills like smart decision making, seeing patterns across the subjects, and thinking in creative and strategic ways. And also we are using AI to boost their reasoning. And now we'll start with the presentation. Yeah. So, business thinking isn't just for adults or MBA students, it's a mindset young people need. Kids should learn how to solve problems, spot systems, and make smart choices. And that's what future entrepreneurs and innovators need. Over to the next slide. Yeah. So in the today's fast changing world, just knowing how to buy and sell isn't just enough. And education helps familiarize and go beyond copying others, and they can start to create new things. And real innovation comes from understanding how systems work, and that's why we need to teach this early and make it accessible to everyone. Over to you, Nandita.
Okay, so great businesses often emerge from unexpected inspirations, like how Toyota learned from American supermarkets. So if we can teach kids to, find patterns across different industries, then we are building truly strategic thinkers. Moving to next slide. Yes, and business isn't separate from school. It is a school, right? Because biology gave us niche, history teaches us strategies, and math builds abstraction. So when we compare Shivaji's guerrilla tactics with Apple's market play, kids realize that strategies are universal, and AI helps personalize those analogies and deepen the insight. Over to you, Swastika.
Yes, so build your model. So this day we need to do all these, we need operating systems, right, for business educations. So that children can really analyze the problem and see if, and find the root cause of the main problems, right? They can use more strategic ways like DNA decision making and different five questioning ways also they can use, which will indirectly increase their self-confidence and self-awareness and will also increase their fluency in strategies, right? Next slide, please. Yeah. So people might say that isn't it too much for kids? But we think that I think they are already solving complex video game problems. I think they are already engaged in modern life problems and social media and all. And we feel that they need more guidance in a proper way so that they can feel that okay, we are able to do all this. And so to the conclusion, why this all matters? Because we are not preparing kids for boardroom here. We are preparing them to lead and to solve problems and to build systems in our culture. So by that, I'll conclude our pitch.
Okay, thank you, Team Neuronax, for the presentation of your pitch. Now I would like to ask teampreneurs, storypreneurs, over to you guys to ask questions.
Okay, I'll go first. How does structured learning transform, a trader into a disruptor?
Can you define your question?
In your slides, there was mentioned that structured learning helps transform a trader into a disruptor. So I'm just asking, how does it, like, how does that sort of work?
Okay, so here we are using different structures and strategies to help them grow. Like not only we are aware that they need to be a leader first, but we need to build that mindset first. And for that, we need to go back to the theories and to the main core aspects of the studies, right? So we can focus on them, and then we can just build on with the character and then.
Also, adding on to that, like traditional business generally rely on intuition, and structured learning teaches pattern recognition, cross-industry learning, and strategic experimentation. So, which is the very ingredient of disruption in today's volatile market, right?
Does that answer to your question, Sarveshwar?
Yes, it does.
Any follow-up question?
Can I ask a question? So you have said key decision DNA mapping and tools like AI help students that shift them from syllabus learning to system learning, right? How I would like to know how that would practically work. I
Decision.
mean,
Okay.
what are the kind of frameworks that or the structures that you would like to implement?
So it's basically like diagnosing a problem, a medical condition. First, you listen to the patient and then you understand what are their conditions, and then according to that, you treat them, right? It's same here in this field also. We first see what are the situations they are in, and then we can provide them conditions, and then we can use different case studies maybe, and different situation based problems to improve their decision making. It's like a process, like gradually it starts from a very basic level, and then we can go to advanced, like solving a math problem. We start from algebra and then we go to different various derivatives and problems, right? So decision DNA mapping works similarly.
Okay, so what if the student is unrecognized? I mean, what if the is his talent, his or her talent is unrecognized? I mean, what if we couldn't diagnose his their talent and we would directly jump into conclusion?
I think diagnosing the problem is the first part of the step, right? So we can't skip it directly to the main conclusion. First, we have to know what are the conditions. At least we have to get a idea that what are the house conditions of that candidate, what are the educational level of that candidate, and then we can slowly divide the problem into different chunks and we can solve it.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that
Does
Yeah.
that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Team Storypreneurs, any other questions for Team Neuronauts?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh, in your BPT presentation, you talked about multiple frameworks and the rapid change of this business world, changes in trends and everything, right? So for students, it may be feeling, they may feel like it is very much complicated, even though they are interested in learning it. So how are you making sure to simplify these topics to them?
Yeah, I would like to answer that. It is very similar to what we do in DT when a new recruit comes into the system. What we does is we just explain the basic theories and we let that person get into what DT does and let them give the time to just analyze the process. And yeah, that's what we are doing, just building the basics. And from that basics, we are just giving them the idea how do critical thinking looks like, how decision making is, and what you have to do in any situation. So yeah, we are not just throwing very difficult tasks on them at the very first stage. We are just building it step by step.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have one question. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
how are you guys using AI, like taking the help of AI for the learning businesses, teaching businesses to the students and reasoning, as you said, mentioned in the slide?
So I would like to answer that many of the schools in today's era have digital boards and access to all the digital things we have, like most of them. And through that, what one can do is if a teacher is introducing a new topic or a new theory to a student, they can use parallel chat GPT. And they can just train those students to, that how to use it, how to give prompts, and how can you learn from those prompts, and just think side by side to it. So that's how we are integrating AI. We are not letting AI to give them answers from the very first step, but yet thinking parallelly to AI. So they learn as well as learn how to give prompts.
So, are you using AI as a like thought partner or to teach them as a thought partner?
Yes, yes, as a thought partner.
Hey guys, team storypreneurs, do you have any other questions for team?
I have another question.
Okay, so then we can conclude the SG session and okay, go ahead, Vajra.
Yeah, so the question was are we focusing only on the students who are interested about business, or are we focusing on like every kind of student?
So what we are doing here is, as we have sports, music, and art in the very early age of a student who is in sixth, seventh, eighth grade, who has to do it, and then they'll select it when they are in 10th and 11th if they want to pursue it further. So we will introduce them early when they are in sixth, seventh, eighth, like they have their classes as art, dance, or music. And if a person or a student is interested to pursue it further, then they can just specialize in it or just do it if they want.
Adding on to that, as Afrin told that we are not just focusing on the making them choose this business thing in the future. We are introducing the entrepreneurship as, education or business education to unstigmatize to not make the failure a big issue. So they are open to take risks, and ultimately they will be open for the future unknown things. They will be better doctors, better teachers, and a better human being, right? They will know how to reflect on their mistakes, and they can learn from it, and like they will get success in their new startups or business, whatever they will do in their life. They will be also like better parents, right?
But if you are focusing like inculcating this business study with the kids and the pre-primary students, like for the first to fifth class students, so it will be the parents role will be much more important, so they will be the decision takers for their children, right? So how are we convincing the parents that this is important, and it is as important as the other subjects?
See, the parents, when a student is grown up, just goes with where the marks is more and in which subject it's less. Talking about Indian education system, and if a student is really into this business thinking and the education which we are giving that student, so why not parents will support the student if he or she is excelling in it or having interest in it. And talking about the support, as they are supporting math, science, and biology and other subjects, so yeah, they should also give it a chance to just explore what the subject is, because it's not compulsory to the student that he or she has to pursue it. It's just an open subject like any other. They can just explore it if they're interested in it or not. It's like that.
And adding on to that, we can also keep a session for parents. Maybe make it a children parent session so that they can also learn with their children and see what all values they are having from our education system as a business study.
Okay, Vajra, does that answer your questions?
Yes, Anushri.
Okay, so let's wrap this up by giving three excellent reflections on today's SD. So who will like to go ahead? One more person, guys. Let's go ahead with the reflection of this great session. Okay, great. Afreen, you can go ahead with your reflection.
I think from today's discussion, what both the team brought into the place, we actually should include this in the education system by like not adding it as another subject or another burden, but as an activity in which student just gets involved. And this idea is not a vague idea; it can really make a difference for students who are interested and have that mind of critical thinking and decision making. So yeah, it's a fantastic idea.
I think we all agree with that here. It was a great conclusion too of today's SD. Swastika, you can go ahead with your reflection.
Yeah, I totally agree with Afreen. I think today's session content the values of business and entrepreneurship, and I think we should introduce that very in a very early stage so that the children can get a chance to choose their own future, right? And they should also get a chance to see that what all values they can put in different fields, like they can use cross domains and they can mix up different domains like biology and business, and maybe they can use different subjects and may put a value of business in that, which will also grow our country as a economic growth, right? Yeah.
I think it's great to connect it with the overall growth of the country. Great reflection, Swastika. Sarveshwar, you can go ahead with your reflection.
So, like, I agree with both of them, and to adding to what they said, that it is important to make, like, when they are small, or when they're children, when they're in, lower classes, it's important to make them understand that the theoretical part is as important as the practical application of it, because without theories, practical application just goes in vain. It goes, directionless. So theories help give direction to that thinking, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Sarveshwar. So that will be the end of today's SD. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Anushri, as well as Harshita, for moderating this session. Thank you so much.